So hello, everyone. Very good to see you all here. This will be our last class of this series of Qigong for health and balance. The last one. Sorry, I'm just getting my screen back into where it was. I don't know what just happened. Something, there we go. Very glad to have you all here. So I want to start out the class, as always, by reminding you to stay safe, to take care of yourself as you do the class. Tai Chi and Qigong are never about supreme effort to do something perfectly. Rather, they're about looking within and accepting what you are doing and staying relaxed with it and staying with your breath and with your softness. So we're going to begin with the feet at about our shoulders width. And we're going to put the hands with the thumbs in the navel and the pointers facing down. Just with your arms relaxed, let your hands rest on your belly. And be aware of your breath. Be aware of a couple of inhalations and exhalations. Where do you feel your breath coming into your body? Is it up here? Or in the midsection of your chest? Or is it coming in all the way down where your pointer fingers rest, well below your navel? And can you allow your breath to sink so that it does come into the dantian, your center of movement, your center of gravity, your center of awareness? And feel the area around the dantian. If you think of the dantian as a point right here, about a third of the way into the body, the whole area around it we think of as the sea of qi. Let your belly soften. Feel how when you breathe, your belly actually moves your hands. And let that softness and that breath travel down through your hip joints, softening your knees, ankles, and all the way down to the feet, where so many bones come together, with so many joints between them, vast open spaces that can listen to the earth. You can let your hands down. Remember that the center of the top of the head remains the highest point in the body, and you can visualize that string from the center of the top of the head up to the center of the heavens. Feel that, even though we're imagining it, feel it as real. Feel yourself hang from that thread. Feel your bones, your skeleton hanging from that thread, and everything in you hanging from your skeleton. And at the same time, you're lifted to that point. The chin will then relax forward just a bit, and all the vertebrae elongate. You can particularly feel it in the back of your neck. Let your spine hang one vertebra at a time, down to the heavy pelvis at the bottom. And we're going to turn from the dantian, letting the arms simply move with the torso. Breathing into the belly. Feeling the feet stay flat, relaxed on the floor. And let that turn bring up first the left arm and then the right. For our position of embrace the Tao. What does that mean to you? Embrace the Tao. Open to what is. Maybe open to all that is. with those feelings of opening, embracing, and welcoming that you have for those you love. Can you feel that for yourself? Open, accept, welcome for myself as I am, here and now. And can you allow that sphere of acceptance to spread out from yourself, maybe to all those you know and love? A sphere of awareness with its center in your dantian. As the heart and mind are held by the dantian, that sphere can expand. And let it expand to all the beings on our planet. Those you don't know. Those maybe you don't love. Those that are not human, but are animal, are vegetable. The trees, the seaweed, the fish and horses and cockroaches. Hold all that life in your awareness and your acceptance. And then allow that awareness to hold the earth itself, the minerals and waters and mountains and lava. And feel how your awareness and your acceptance can expand beyond our planet, beyond our sun, beyond even our galaxy. Can you expand to the billions of galaxies we know of? And beyond that. And beyond that. Feeling the benevolent and beneficent energies of our vast Tao. And then bring your sphere back, bringing some of that good feeling with it. Back to our world, back to your world, back to your body, back to your belly. And let your arms float down. We're going to breathe the arms up with an inhalation, in and down with every exhalation. It's actually the breath that moves the arms. Feel how your muscles can give up effort as the breath makes the movement. Observe your shoulders, your joints of your shoulders, that big ball and socket joint. All the muscles engaged, but they're not engaged. They're soft and moving with no effort. And if there's a place in you that does grab, a place that of pain or discomfort or injury, allow the breath to visit that place with your acceptance. Be like an explorer. And with each breath, you go into deeper places inside yourself and see what's happening there. And we have another focus as we do this yin yang breath. We follow a point of energy up the spine, through the center of the top of the head as the fingers come up, down the front of the face, through where the tongue rests on the roof of the mouth, through the heart and the dantian, and connects to itself at the perineum, a circle of healing energy. You can do this movement at your own pace. You don't have to stay in time with me. Go at the pace of your breath. Following this circuit of energy that is always there, was one of the first things formed in you when you were just a few cells. The main path of the vital energy in our bodies. And that vital energy can radiate out to all parts of us, to every organ, every muscle, every cell. So let's do 3 more breaths. Simply tracing your internal circulation of energy, the yang rising, strengthening, and the yin downward, calming, soothing. And we're going to move to the constant bear with our feet just a little wider apart. And we will shift the weight and turn the hips. Movement that comes from the dantian. And because we are the constant bear, we're carrying a ball that turns over with each shift and rotation. Feel the softness of the arms because it is the dantian that is holding that ball. We're inhaling one way and exhaling the other. We're held up to the heavens. In fact, on our head is the little looking owl, reminding us of our connection above, as our big bear paws spread out on the ground, reminding us of our connection below. Feel how the hips stay soft even as you turn to one side and the other. That whole hip joint stays soft and open. The feet stay soft and listening to the earth beneath. You may feel right down through that foot as the weight goes into it, but the other foot still adheres and listens. Let the owl on your head remind you to relax your eyes and relax your gaze. You can feel the relaxation of the eyeballs, the eyelids, all the connections from the eyes to the face, the blood vessels and nerves, all the eye connections of the eyes to the brain. Let all of that soften as your gaze softens. And the eyes simply move as the head moves as part of the torso with the turn of the hips. The eyes simply move along your horizon line. Remember that you are emulating the constant bear. Feel the heaviness of your bones and the deep softness and heaviness of your flesh. Feel your butt hanging down to the ground, connecting also with the earth, as do your paws, your feet. Feel that immense strength of the bear and the immense softness of the bear. And you may begin by now to feel some chi between your palms. We're gathering chi with every movement and every breath from the world around us, from places in our own bodies where it may have gotten stuck. We're letting it move. We're cultivating our chi. You may begin to feel it like a ball between your hands. And let's rest and have a look at your hands. Feel them. Do they feel a little alive and tingly from the chi that's moving there? So we're going to use this for our Tai Chi touch. Something I really advise you remember and use in your daily life. Let your hand or both hands go to whatever place on your body wants to be touched. Choose one place. I think I'll go right here in my upper arm. It might be a place where both hands can be present. It might be a place where only one. But as you reach for it, let the rest of your body stay relaxed. Actually, I think I'm going to do this. This is a good one. Both upper arms. Let your palms be full of attention, presence, and listening. They're not trying to do anything, but by their restful presence in this place you've chosen, they may connect. You may actually feel, if you listen to the place, you may feel some internal movement. Your hands may form a connection, a listening connection. And we do in our school have many more formal self-massages. Some of them involve stroking, some of them involve a little pressure. When you're doing this general chi touch, I just recommend presence and listening with the quality of holding a baby. You are the baby and you're holding yourself. Okay, So let's move on to one of our more formal self massages. And I'd like us to do a hip massage. I'm not sure if we've done it in this class before, but it's very similar to what we were just doing in that we have our same bare width, and we're going to begin with one hand resting on the pelvic crest and the other hand hanging down by the side seam. Doesn't matter whether you're left or right, so you can mirror me or follow me, whichever you prefer. I'm going to shift all the weight into that side where the hand is up. And as I do, the hand travels down over the buttock and the weight travels down into the leg. Meanwhile, the other hand has come up through the groin. Now I'm going to go the other way. The side where the hand goes down is the side where the weight goes down. The other hand has been stroking up right through the groin. We're actually working with two of our wood element meridians here. The gallbladder meridian with the back hand going down over the buttock, and the liver meridian with the front hand coming up right through the groin. One of the manifestations in us of the wood element, which is about our sense of direction, knowing where we're heading, our vision for ourselves. And one of the manifestations is the muscles of our body, the eyes, the muscles, the liver, the gallbladder. And these are some of the biggest muscles in the body that we're soothing and invigorating and bringing our releasing, healing touch to. I haven't talked about using an aid for balance, but we are going. I just want to say we're going to try this as a walk, but you can easily and just as productively stay with the feet on the ground. You don't need to add the element of walking. So watch me. As the weight goes into one leg, my empty foot is peeling up and stepping straight forward and empty. As the weight goes into that leg, the other foot is peeling up and stepping straight forward, heel toe and empty. If you have any concerns about your balance and you do want to explore this, try walking along the edge of a table or by a wall. And it's fine to simply stay with both feet on the ground and shift the weight and turn the hips. Feel the alive, listening quality of both hands. If anybody has any questions about this movement, ask them now while we're still doing it. Bringing healing to both the wood element meridians that circulate through the body, to these big muscles around the hip joint and to the joint itself. Okay. Everybody okay? Good, good. See smiling faces. All right, so we're going to move on.
Tina, is there a feeling of a figure of 8 in it, but quite a powerful kind of moving figure of 8 in the hands.
That's one way of describing it. That's, yes, absolutely. That's one way of describing the hands in that one and in the constant bear as well. There's a lot going on because we're moving the body in several directions and several dimensions. So
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels
So
a bit
let's move on.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yes, I'd like us to, we're going to repeat what we did last week with the sculling. And once again, we're going to begin with our bear width. And also, once again, it doesn't matter if you mirror me or follow me. So you can shift all the way to one leg. I'm using my right. Let the dantian open the other leg to just about 1 o'clock. If this is 12 o'clock, just about 1 o'clock. You don't need to look down though, once you know what that is. And let that opening also bring the hands up in front of your shoulders. And we're going to shift forward, moving the oar, remember this, and let the oar out of the water come back into place. I'm going to show you the photo before we begin, actually. Someone's asking me in a message where I got my martial arts shoes. You can Google that. Pearl River Department Store in New York City has them and we'll mail them to you. I also placed in the chat my email address if any of you want to be on my mailing list for other things I do, other classes I teach. Okay, so back to what we were just doing, sharing the screen. So here's the photo of the Chinese sampan, an old one. I don't know if they still look like this in China now, but you can see this man facing sideways and the oar runs over the back of the boat. And as he shifts forward, and you can also see that he's quite relaxed. He's not leaning at all. He's staying straight. He's got all his weight in his back foot and his hands are on the oar. Now, as he shifts forward, that oar will move through the water. You can think of that as the power stroke. And then as he shifts back, the oar will swing up above the water. So it's an easier stroke and he's back again on his back leg. And sometimes on a very large boat, there would be a whole row of people where the oar came up along crossing the boat. Okay, I'm going to take this off and we'll go back to the movement. Okay, so once again, we're in our bear width. We shift all the way to one side. The dantian opens the foot to about 1 o'clock and brings the hands up. Got all that weight in the back foot and we're going to feel the oar. You can just feel it going across, right? Maybe right across between your hands and your thumbs, or maybe the whole hand is just resting in a forward direction. And then just shift the weight forward. This is the power stroke. No stress or strain in the arms though. It's the dantian that's moving the oar. And then shifting back as the oar follows your hands, stays with you, but it's a much simpler stroke. And forward. Our forward shift takes us, we didn't see this in the picture, but it takes us to about 70% of the weight in that front foot. And when we reach that point, we're relaxed. We're not leaning. The back knee is relaxed and the hips. So take this moment and hold it here and see what you can soften and let go of. And then shift back, allowing the oar to follow you. Let's inhale forward. And let's exhale back. Feel how the weight is actually moving over that front foot. It's not moving halfway between the legs. That would be 50% of the weight. It's moving towards the left foot and over the left foot. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. I see a turn coming in the river, the Yangtze River. So this time when we get to our back foot, let's let the Dantian close that foot so the feet are parallel again and shift over that foot as we open to the other side. And again, come forward. Still rowing. Maybe you hear the birds singing along the river. It's a beautiful sunny day on the river with cool breezes. Inhaling forward, knowing when you've reached that point, the fingers have come up to about ear eye level. You've got about more than 2/3 of the weight in that front leg. The hips and back knee are soft. And then you shift back, exhaling. Let's just imagine for a moment that all of us on this call are in a row on a very big boat. And we're moving this oar together. So we're all in our back leg now. And we're going to inhale forward. And exhale back. Feel that it is the Dantian that does the work. Here comes another turn in the river. Let's let the Dantian close that back foot, shift over it, open the front, and we're all together now, inhaling forward. I think we're closing in on a dock. And here we are. So let's turn to the front and let's place the oar back in its holder and rest. Everybody okay with that movement? Yeah, good. Good. How are we doing for time? Okay. So yes, last week we were doing a movement, another walk. We talked about it as imagining the room was a pond, a frozen pond. And I know that some people had some difficulty with that. So I'd like to do that again, but I'd like you to really be sure that you have a way to walk where you can be as supported as you need to be. This table is perfect for me because I can just always reach out and touch it. A wall is also a good thing. If you can just walk along a wall, or even a small chair that you could walk around and touch as you need to. Any of these things will help to give you the security to actually try stepping empty and shifting the weight and then peeling up the back foot. It's you know, my teacher used to say onion peel layer by onion peel layer. And you just have to explore what it is for you. It's different for all of us. I know that I had a period last year when I had bad issues with my left foot. I couldn't get any balance on my left foot. So I would have had to do that along here. Let's see how it is today. So we're going to step down from the bank onto the pond. And remember to orient yourself the way you need to. And it's not a very big pond, but we do want to walk over to the other side. Maybe we have a friend waiting for us over there with a little campfire and some s'mores. So let's step very slowly, or maybe you imagine this pond different, as out in the great wilderness and nothing but greenery and white snow around you. Let's step down. And even to step down, we have to feel all the weight solid on that foot that stays on the bank. So let that forward foot step, heel touches first and then toe, but there's no weight in it yet. And then we shift the weight ever so slowly, not to throw ourselves off balance. And meanwhile, the back foot is peeling up. And when it gets to the point where the toe is about to come off the ground, it doesn't want to push because that would throw us off balance. It wants to just lift, empty, step, empty, wherever it wants, heel and then toe, and then shift the weight. Now you go as slowly with this as works for you. You may find that your foot doesn't spend too long in the air making the step, but see if you can feel that it does, that there are these moments where that foot is empty and it steps. If you need to turn, I don't think you want to turn by crossing one foot right in front of the other. Let your turn be an outward turn so you don't trip over your own feet. The hands are relaxed. And you know what else is relaxed? The eyes. It might be a real compulsion or temptation to look down at your feet, but allow your eyes to rest on that horizon line and to soften. They will see everything when they soften. Are you breathing? Are you breathing into the belly? Even the hands are alive. They're not tense. They're soft. There's a little space between the arms and the body at the armpit point. And that's true all around the body. We say there's always at least a cell's width of space where any part of the body rests on another part of the body. Under the arms, in the groin, maybe even between the toes.
Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to use a stick. Is it better if I use two sticks, one in each hand, to keep the balance?
I would say whichever feels better for you, Benny.
Okay.
Now that's an interesting thing that I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to get something and explore that. I have my own stick,
Okay.
what we call a cane. So I think, no, I think it's actually, if you can manage with one, I would say go with one.
Okay.
By manage, I mean if you can stay relaxed with one.
Right.
Don't feel that you need two to stay balanced. If you do need two, though, to stay relaxed and balanced, use two. That's fine. Or explore working close to a wall if that would help. Interesting, you can let the stick take an empty step as well. You don't want it to break the ice.
No.
So it comes down gently. Are there any other questions? That you can keep going if you don't have a question. I see some people not doing. Is that because you have a question or because you think you were just curious? Anyway, we're getting close to the other shore now. And I know you're all hungry for your s'mores. So walk up to the shore when you're ready and be sure that that last step off the ice onto the ground. Be sure that the foot on the ice stays soft as the empty step goes up to the ground. And then as you shift the weight, don't push off with that foot that's on the ice. So we do this partly because it's a way of doing Tai Chi. It's a way of exploring our ability to hold all our weight on one leg and to soften. But also we do it because it can inform our actual daily walk. And so next time you are walking in the supermarket or around the city or wherever you walk, remember that, remember that walk can be a way of being in your Dantian and of letting your steps come from the Dantian, even if you're walking fast, even if you're late for something. Okay, so I think that it's time to move on now. I wanted to do one last self-healing, self-massage before we do our final three movements. But are there any questions about anything today besides the ones we've already had? You're all okay?
No, not really. I hear the words walk from the Dantian and I can put them in my brain, but I don't know if I'm walking from the Dantian. How would I know?
Well, I think one thing is, since it's in your brain and since you've had a little experience with it in this exercise, is when you're actually walking, if it comes to you and you remember, explore it with your step. Like, here I am walking around the city, and here I am, look, I kind of throw myself into one foot, throw myself to the other, even if I'm using a stick. What is it in your walk that brings tension to your body, and what can you let go of? And how can you move more from here than from your head leaning forward, which a lot of people do that. Yeah. My teacher used to say that when he would watch people walk in New York City, they were all basically falling into the front foot on every step. I'm exaggerating, but he said that's basically the way most people walk. And I've observed it to be somewhat true. New York City is a place where people are not strolling so much. They're going somewhere, so there is a lot of that forward propulsion kind of quality.
Okay. So
anyways,
the awareness is in the Dantian.
But the awareness is in the Dantian.
Okay, right. Thank you.
And the movement is coming from that central place, not from something that's pulling us off in one direction or another. Explore it, work with it. Remember your breath and your Dantian. In the hardest times, it'll do you the most good, but then it's the least likely times you remember it. But maybe you will. You know, maybe you will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on and we're going to do one last self-massage. And I want to do this because I know a few people have been developing colds, and I think this is really a valuable self-massage, which is a throat massage. It's not something that is only for when you're getting a cold, but it is a good thing to do at the first sign of a sore throat or a cold. So it goes like this. We bring the hand up all the way up under the jawbone to start. And we're not pressing, but there's, you know, but it's really there. And it's going to stroke down. Be sure that you don't in any way choke yourself. Just to about the collarbone. And we're going to do 36 of these. One taking turns with the two hands. Each stroke is one. This is very strengthening for the immune system. A lot of lymph nodes right in there under the jaw and in the throat. We're tracing over the entranceway to the lungs and to the stomach. It's also stimulating and nourishing for the voice box. The hand is soft and listening, but very present. I didn't say count for yourselves, but I hope you are. 36. Let your chin be relaxed forward and the vertebrae of your neck stay extended. You don't need to throw your head back to do this. And as with all the self-massages, you can do fewer than the recommended number, and you can do the recommended number more than once with a little pause in between, I'd say an hour or something. But don't do more than 36 at a time. Okay? All right. So we're going to move on to our ending movements, which are also the evening daily routine. If you're doing this each day. And remember that if you'd like to make this a part of a routine for yourself, that you want to wake up in the morning and embrace the Tao. And then the yin yang breath. So you've moved from the oneness of the Tao to the yin and the yang, discriminating between the yin and the yang. And then to the constant there, which is all the movement, all the events, all the feelings, the joy and dance and play of life. So at night and at the end of class, we begin with the constant there. We've been in the middle of it all day. We've just had a class. We're wrapping it up now. Remember that we inhale one way and exhale the other. So as always, the movement and the breath are one. And if you are doing this at night before bed, you can allow it to be a way of letting go of the day. letting go of all the busyness, all the plans, the fears, the hopes and dreams, the 10,000 things. And returning to your real home, your breath and your dantian. Of course, they've been with you all day, but you bring your awareness to the breath and the dantian, to your feet connecting to the earth, and your head top held up to the heaven. Okay, let's bring the feet just a bit closer together for the yin yang breath. The breath in the belly, that moves the arms, that pulls the diaphragm down with each inhalation and expands the lungs, and lets it go back with each exhalation. Both these exercises, the constant bear and the yin yang breath, are wonderful reset buttons for you to keep from this class to do anytime you need to change your space, change your mood, let go of stiffness, refresh, reboot. And when you're doing this one at night, the yin yang breath at night before bed, you bring your awareness back to this discrimination of yin and yang. That is our life on earth. With light and dark, inhaling and exhaling. Day and night. And the very presence of yin and yang is about change. The very awareness of yin and yang, I should say, is about change. Nothing is staying the same. In our bodies, in our lives. Qi moves. Let's do two more breaths. And then allow your dantian to bring the arms up to embrace the Tao. So maybe this is your last act before you get between the sheets, go to sleep. Just a moment of embracing and accepting your day. Yourself, your path through the big Tao, your way. A moment of acceptance for yourself.